guys, I want you to understand that marijuana for drug and other herbs in our veterans we love very much, and I thank God that they've got coverage and that they've got
Absolutely.
to get that.
Yes.
100%. Woo!
No, we need a lot more for veterans, but we need it for the cannabis.
Amen.
See, what we've done with veterans is because Canada, I like to call them the citizens, the policymakers know. They know up there. The general public will not pick on the city in general, and they will not pick on the veterans. So they've covered cannabis for the veterans, they're trying to get it covered for us. Which means that eventually you're going to be able to go to your local, dispensary, which will be licensed producer dispensary, and you'll be able to use your provincial medical card to get provincial coverage. And that's your future dispensaries. And those are patient access centers. They've had them planned. I talked about this on my show like 3 years ago when they first told us about it. Part of working on a big legal team is getting a lot of dirt on the government, especially when you put them on trial. So we learned of their plan to actually make these hubs all across every province. And these are the hubs that are to supply you guys. Part of those hubs is Shoppers Drug Mart. We've heard about that in the news. Part of the hubs is also the Liquor Bureau. They're in on this. So you guys got to look at legalization. How's that going to look? You might get to grow 3 to 6 plants, and then you might be able to buy a Shoppers Drug Mart.
Boo! Right?
3 to 6, it is
Crap.
scary. 3 to 6 plants. I'm not just throwing these numbers out of my ass. Honestly, I've been to a liberal private party like this is going on there. My lawyers are going to be giving me shit if I'm saying anything that is not accurate. Most importantly, when your liberals insiders tell us, don't bother lobbying, don't spend your $20,000 lobbying trying to change what the liberal government's going to do, is they're going to cap and heavily restrict your victory in Allard. Yeah, you won. You embarrassed the federal government. Their organized crime expert got bombed on the stand, Officer Wilcox. He didn't prove a single conviction for a medical marijuana grower. Their fire expert didn't prove a single conviction for a medical marijuana grow for a garden. So when it comes to the government's case, they bombed. That's what I mean by we won uncontested. So when you spank the government's butt, believe me, I know, they don't like it. People say don't take on Big Brother. It's for a reason. My friends, Big Brother is working with big business to take all of us on. And the sooner we recognize that and realize what the MMPR is really about, the real agenda of the federal government of Canada is to monopolize supplying distribution of cannabis in this country. And as well as to take over the culture that we built under 80 years of reefer madness. We built this culture. And we built it with our brothers and sisters going to jail, our brothers...
Yeah!
We have done this non-stop, and we'll continue to do this. And this is the risk that we have to take to make the change, and we're going to keep doing it. It took some people to stand up to the Big Brother once and say, we're going to restrain you and put you on trial because you're lying, and we did it. Mr. Conroy, I have an email here, has told me he's already preparing for August 24th so we can go back to court and say, Justice Field, this still ain't constitutional.
Yeah!
Woohoo! Woo!
So again, just so everybody is clear before, just in closing, the smoking bylaws is something we're not taking lightly. It's going to be applied. If we read the language carefully, they talk about a federal statute, which means that they really want to look to put this in every province and make it so that they can apply this. In my own opinion, this has nothing to do with smoking and everything to do with vapor lounges and wanting to shut us down and stop us. So yeah, with all that said, if there's any questions in the room, I've covered a lot of different topics, and I actually cover a lot of things. There's also a $100 million lawsuit that I filed on behalf of y'all that if you got a federal license out there under the old MMAR, all for having Q&A and I'll open it up with the audience if there's any questions. Anybody? Actually, louder. Anybody? No questions?
Yeah. How much do you think it's going to cost us to go back to court this time?
Oh, Lord.
Good question. Okay, now that I can actually hear myself in this microphone. Okay, so we spent $785,000 against their $1.2 million, and we still haven't paid Mr. Conroy off. I love the rumors out there. Oh, you're getting your money back. This, side, and everything. They don't look out how you get your money back. So how you get your money back is first the Crown whines and cries, which is Canada. They go in front of the judge again and they whine and cry about how Justice Field was wrong and we shouldn't get our money back. And then it works on scheduling. Even when we win it, it just works on scheduling 1, 2, or 3. If we get scheduling 1, we get this much back. If we get scheduling 2, we get this much back. So we don't know how much money we're going to get back. All we know is how much the federal government has spent, $1.2 million fighting us. We spent $785,000 because I'm the client that hired them. I know from the bills. That's what we spent fighting. And we won uncontested. Now, back to Michael, what would it take to do it again? My friends, any fight against the federal government of Canada is $250,000. No lawyer is going to take you serious unless you have 10 grand on the table talking in real cash.
Correct.
Correct.
So there's a lot of people out there talking and perpetrating and pretending, and they're not actually doing anything. And that's unfortunate for our culture while it's under fire. There are people trying to buy us out, and I always said this culture is not for sale, not after 8 years of lies and reaping madness, no way. But I'm starting to see that maybe some of us are for sale. You know, because they bought out a lot of our supply and distribution routes. They bought out some of our higher activists. They didn't get me. I turned the check down, but they tried.
Sure as hell didn't get me neither.
Oh no! Woo!
And for the activists that they did get, I feel sorry for the cannabis culture, but those activists have to look themselves in the mirror every night. I can go home and know that I've sat here and spoke with a group of my peers, my brothers and sisters who love this cannabis plant, and know that in a democracy, in a place that's free, we should be able to use a plant and come together in a free and fair
Us
way.
against them now, guys.
Damn straight. Woohoo!
That's not just right, hey, it's time to unite. We need to
Yes,
get
it
our
is.
numbers up and show them how big we truly are.
Here, here.
Numbers game.
To me.
That's important. Linda brings up a good point. Numbers game. Now, the division. Now, anybody who's actually watched Fake Land and see what's going on there, you'll see the drama that unfolds in Facebook. And it's amazing the lies and stuff people will actually believe, and that is what's killing us. The federal government's divide and conquer. The licensed producer agents divide and conquer tactics, military tactics. How can they use that on a culture that works in the underground? Like, fuck, I don't get this, but it's working. I mean, we are the underground, you know, like it or not, we're the gray area of the law, and yet they're using divide and conquer tactics on us and making us fight each other while they corner the market, so we can buy from them. I don't know if how many of y'all grew up on the streets like I did, but you know, that's not how drug dealing works. So.
Nope.
No.
And these smoking laws, I believe, are another thing. I'll be glad when I hear back from John, because I hope to speak at Peterborough if any of you can make it out there. I hope to speak at Peterborough about this particular topic with lawyers' advice. Right now, I'm just speaking about it from my own opinion and from what I've read and been able to ascertain from it. My friends, Michael, I hope you keep your door open. I really do, but I also understand the risk that comes with that. And for the other people that want to pop one open, let's do that. Let's look at how we can come together. Most importantly, let's stay in touch, because the coalition proved what 2,800 registered patients can do when they fought together. They raised $300,000 and took down the federal government's monopoly that would have you guys all buying from shoppers today if it wasn't for it. Most importantly, exactly, we need to stay together, and that divide and conquer, watch for it, because my friends, the guys in the suits, the guys that aren't from our culture, the people that just tried to take my company is a good example. I'm not really able to talk about them because my lawyers asked me not to. Fucking dickheads. Anyway, they tried to take my company, and it's just an example. I'm just a little medical patient with a little small media company, and somebody can try to pass you over. And in law, that's where somebody just comes in and trademarks your shit and says, go ahead and come up with 10 grand and prove that it's not my shit. And that's how it works in corporate law. My point is here is it's not just licensed producers that we have to worry about. Right down here to the smallest brand. If you're in the cannabis culture, you need to be alert to what's going on, because you have to say, what are you going to tell your grandkids? What are your kids going to tell their kids, etc., about what you did at this time when they were legalizing in the country of Canada? What did you do about the future of this country in relation to legalization of cannabis? We've been fighting all these years. Now we're going to legalize, but are we just going to let corporate business take over? Or are we going to kick up dust and like the Americans would and fight for a free and democratic society and a free and democratic market?
Yeah.
On that note, I love you all, and I came out here honestly just for that point. I love coming here, and
Thank you.